Between January 2025 and June 2026, the American executive branch began a systematic realignment of its core architecture. The collapse of institutional integrity doesn't happen in a single stroke. It happens day by day, piece by piece, over 500 carefully orchestrated days. To understand how a government is captured, you have to look at its internal security system. The Office of Government Ethics and Independent Inspectors General exist specifically to catch conflicts of interest and prevent officials from abusing their power for private gain. Within the first 100 days of the administration, that security system was systematically dismantled. Leadership across these oversight agencies was removed or neutralized, and whistleblower protections were restricted, forcing employees to report misconduct directly to the very agencies committing the offenses. This timeline chart tracks leadership appointments within the Department of Homeland Security during this period. You can see how Senate-confirmed officials drop off entirely, while unconfirmed acting appointments spike. By installing acting officials, the administration bypassed the constitutional requirement for Senate confirmation, leaving the highest vacancy rate in the department's history. By blinding the watchdogs and stacking agencies with unconfirmed loyalists, the structural guardrails of American democracy were removed. The stage was set for unchecked exploitation. Almost immediately, the absence of oversight triggered a wave of individual scandals. Cabinet secretaries began utilizing taxpayer funds to book private jets for themselves and directed public money into expensive office renovations. At the top, the president began intertwining the functions of the executive branch with his own private business empire. Taxpayers were forced to cover official government travel expenses incurred at his private properties, like Mar-a-Lago, at high-end commercial rates. This arrangement created specific ethical and national security risks. Foreign governments and special interest groups began booking rooms and events at these properties, establishing a direct, unmonitored line to the executive branch. These early, scattered breaches proved a crucial point. The system was vulnerable. The success of this individual greed signaled that the environment was ready for a fully institutionalized pay-to-play operation. The administration soon shifted from scattered self-enrichment to systemic pay-to-play. The clearest example of this transition involves a cryptocurrency exchange called Binance. To start the timeline, the CEO of Binance pleaded guilty to massive federal crimes. This included a multi-billion-dollar penalty for anti-money laundering and sanctions violations that facilitated funds for terrorist groups. This flowchart maps the money that followed. An Emirati company with ties to Binance invested a staggering $2 billion directly into World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency venture owned by the president's family. Shortly after that investment landed, the Binance CEO received a full presidential pardon for his crimes, with no official explanation provided in the document. This transactional approach reached into the Department of Justice's Antitrust Division. Career investigators were bypassed, and corporate monopolies and mergers were greenlit after companies hired lobbyists with direct ties to the White House. The American justice system had become a transactional marketplace. Executive clemency and market dominance were no longer matters of law. They were commodities that could be purchased. While these backroom deals took place, the administration publicly claimed their budget priorities were focused on fighting fraud and protecting communities. But the actual fiscal ledger tells a different story. Take a look at this two-column ledger comparing the administration's budget cuts against their payouts. On the left side, we see steep funding cuts targeting vital community services, including hate crime prevention, Medicare, SNAP benefits, and civil rights enforcement. On the right side, those cuts are contrasted against a massive payout, the creation of a $1.8 billion taxpayer-funded anti-weaponization slush fund, set up with zero congressional oversight. That $1.8 billion was designed to pay out violent criminals and insurrectionists who pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers and ransacking the Capitol. The ledger's final major entry involved a directive signed by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanch. He permanently barred the IRS from auditing the past tax returns of the president's family, granting them $100 million in retroactive tax immunity. By integrating personal financial immunity directly into federal settlement orders, the administration rewrote the tax code and the federal budget to shield and enrich themselves at the direct expense of the public. The billions used for slush funds, tax immunities, and executive payouts didn't appear out of thin air. They were extracted directly from the pockets of working-class taxpayers. On the ground, communities experienced a real-world erosion of essential government services. The administration eliminated data-gathering programs that tracked public health, workplace injuries, and civil rights violations. Meanwhile, the deliberate reliance on unconfirmed acting leadership put vital federal operations in legal jeopardy. Every contract signed and policy enforced by these officials, especially regarding immigration enforcement and detention centers, now faced potential reversal in court. Inside the Department of Justice, a deliberate litigation freeze was ordered at the Civil Rights Division. This internal memo halted federal lawyers from filing new cases to protect voting rights and combat local discrimination. By day 500, the internal architecture of American oversight had been dismantled. A functional, accountable government can be rapidly hollowed out when its internal watchdogs are intentionally and systematically removed. When a government dismantles its own accountability, it ceases to serve the taxpayer. It begins operating strictly as a for-profit enterprise for the people in charge. Stay vigilant, follow the money, and subscribe to Explainer Atlas for more investigations.